Hakioi listeners, let's learn sumo. So you've seen the sumo on TV or streaming, and now you want to go to a tournament. Let's learn how to do that. So if you're going to go to Japan, you need to schedule your trip when the tournament is on. So remember, January, May and September is in Tokyo at the Kokugikan Sumo Stadium, and March is in Osaka, July is in Nagoya, and November is in Fukuoka in Kyushu in southern Japan. It's a 15-day tournament every 2 months, so there's plenty of time to arrange a day. If you're going to the Tokyo tournament, it's held at the Kokugikan in Ryogoku. Now that's about 1 minute walk from Ryogoku Station on the JR Sobu line. There's lots of local restaurants around there. The stadium holds about 10,000 people. And if you get there early, you can actually watch the sumo enter in their yukatas long before the start of the tournament. And you'll see the characters out the front, plenty of patrons, lots of flags. Even underneath there's a sumo museum. Now remember, in Osaka is March, Nagoya is July, Fukuoka in November. Each of those have temporary stadiums that they use for the tournaments. So you need to buy a ticket first. It does help if you have a Japanese friend who could do that for you. But if you don't, you can either use a tour guide or you can actually go to the Sumo website yourself and buy a ticket. It's at sumo.pia.jp and there is an English version there. Early on in the tournament, you might even be able to buy a ticket at the door. It's never usually busy on the weekdays. Weekends, of course, and later in the tournament, it's usually quite busy. Doors open around 10 a.m. Matches finish at about 6 p.m. The main matches for Division 1 usually start around 2 p.m. So if you want to get a seat, you've got a couple of choices. The box seats, which are box seats A, which are on the ground level. They range from about $450 to $550 Australian. They hold 4 guests. Box seats B on the second level cost about $380 to $420 Australian. Now these box areas, they're a small flat area bounded by a little brass fence. They sit about 4 people and you sit actually on the floor on little cushions. Look, if you're a larger person, probably 3 people is more comfortable. Remember, these are built for Japanese people who are generally smaller in stature. You can order food, you can have food and drinks delivered to the little box. You can even get food during the breaks from the stalls around the stadium. Now remember, those boxes have some etiquette involved. You've got to take your shoes off. You need to limit your movement a little bit during the tournament so as not to annoy your fellow patrons. You might even want to take a sign with your favourite wrestler's name and hold it up before their fight. You might even be featured on NHK TV. Now remember, drink in moderation, clean up your mess after yourself. And if you aren't used to sitting on the floor for a few hours at a time, you might want to consider a chair seat up in the stadium. The chair seats have a much better view from the side view, and the website actually has a little map. Now consider whether you'll be at the front or the opposite side with the referee to your back or in front of you. The view from the front side is excellent, but it does cost a tiny bit more. Those chair seats cost anywhere from $30 up to about $50, depending on where you sit. If you sit east or west, that means you'll have one of the sumo to your back, their back to you, and the opposite side has the ref in front of you at the start. They do obviously move during the battle. Chair seats are a little bit small for long legs like mine, but it's still okay. If you do the cricket thing and stand between the breaks, no one will get too upset. Beer and food obviously can be consumed in the stadium, and they can even deliver it to you if you order it. From 10 a.m. to about 2 p.m. are the lower division Rishiki battling it out for their honours. And by 2 p.m, the top division Rishiki will come out for the ring entering ceremony where they wear their large embroidered aprons called keshomawashi. As we've discussed before, these aprons are usually a personal symbol or a sponsor's logo, sometimes even anime characters. They're fairly fabulous and they're heavily embroidered and they cost a fair bit of money. So that's the day at the sumo. You'll enjoy all the bouts, finished by about 6 p.m, where you can go and find maybe a chanko nabe or something like that around the stadium, something that the sumos eat. As always, if you want to ask any questions or leave a comment, go to the Facebook page or Insta, Hakioi Let's Learn Sumo. I'm Clayton. See you next time.